what led me to today starts when I was very young. I started singing when I was 5 years old, so there was always those seeds that were planted. When I got older, it was funny because I just found the article not too long ago. I wanted to be a professional wrestler when I was in high school, and I wasn't a very good student in high school. I graduated on time, took some extra going to school, but music was always there. Even when I played football, I still was in chorus and stuff like that. So it started early, and then when I got older, went to school for music, I kind of got stuck in the old, get the jobs and do this part-time. And then one day I just said, if I'm gonna do this, it has to be done now. And I quit everything else and just started doing it full-time. But it all started, when I was real young, because that fire has to be in your body, because I stopped working completely, a regular day job, to do this. And thankfully, almost 10 years later, I have more work than I know what to do with, which is I'm so grateful for. My mom was the catalyst for my passion of music. We would sit in the living room when I was a kid and with the record collection, cassettes, CDs, when it came to CDs, and we would just listen to music all the time. And I'll always say this, my mom was the coolest because she liked Zeppelin, Stones. She saw the Beatles in '65 at Shea Stadium. So I listened to that stuff when I was really young. So that, and in my house, there was no genres. It wasn't like, we're gonna listen to rock and roll, we're gonna listen to country. It was just like, it went from Barry Manilow to Led Zeppelin to Engelbert Humperdinck to, Bing Crosby, Al Jolson. One of my biggest influences was Al Jolson because of his showmanship. Barry Manilow the same way. So that's it. Just sitting at home, listening to music. When my dad was sitting on the couch with his paper, his little glasses would look over the paper. Probably thought we were both nuts. We weren't. And that's it was the upbringing in my house. Music was always in my house, and we intended to be always in my house until I can't hear anymore. My personal mission statement at this age now is just to kind of live my life as graceful and happy and less junk as I can. Spend as much time as I can with my family. I've lost my parents both of my parents within the last 5 years, and going back, I wish I would have spent, as much as the time I spent with them, I wish I spent more time with them. So my kind of goal for the rest of my life, my mission statement for the rest of my life is just live, be happy, and just kind of get all the junk out of my head and my life, and just spend it being happy, playing music, and being able to support my family doing it. It's tough to bring down to one favorite song for a musician is tough, because I go from, like I said, from rock to jazz to country. So there's certain things in my life where a song matters. The song That's My Job by Conway Twitty reminds me of my father, because as much as my dad was the dad that was like, go get a job, work with your hands, he supported everything, I wanted to do. So anytime Barry Manilow comes on, I always think about Mom. So the body of work of Barry Manilow. And probably if you were to ask me now, today, what my favorite song is, my wedding song, To Make You Feel My Love, the Garth Brooks version. When I met my wife now, we went to Chicago for a weekend and saw his reunion when he came back for the first time. So that's kind of our thing. And our wedding song was his version of To Make You Feel My Love. And I still have a hard time performing it. I play it once in a while. I do it at weddings and stuff, or if she's in the crowd, I'll play it. But it's that, I can relate to that song. It's the 4,000 songs that I know. They come out of my mouth, and it kind of gets to the point you don't think about them. But that's one of the songs that really makes me, I have a hard time getting through it. In a good way. The biggest advice I could give somebody is, if you think you can do it, and go head first. Don't do it half-assed. I don't know if you can say that. Don't do it, put all your mind and heart and soul into it, because if you have that goal And if you see that finish line, you'll get there. It just takes a while. Don't get frustrated. It took me years, even, you get to the point where you start a band, not a lot of people are coming out. It gets frustrating. If you just keep your head down and keep getting good at what you're doing, I've ran into some of the most ridiculous things in my life because I do what I do. I've been to LA and shared the stage with Dee Snider from Twisted Sister. I've played in Nashville. I've met some cool people. It's all because I put my head down and I went forward. I never looked back. I just kept going forward. It's always what's next, And it was the funny thing is, when I started making the decision to go and play in Nashville and stuff, I thought, yeah, that's where I want to do. It's good to go in there, but I love just playing around here and doing that stuff. I'm older now. I get it. I'm older. I'm not the young. You go to Nashville and there's all these 20-year-olds. But I had a goal of I wanted to play on a stage in Nashville, and I put my head down. You got to put your head down. You got to think positive. Don't look back, and do it, and just get better. You're never at where you need to be. You always need to be better. Practice, practice, practice. Syracuse means the world to me. It's my home. I've grew up here. I've went away. I've lived in New York City. I always find my way back here. My family, I still have of what's left of my family still in this area. My now family, my wife's family's here. So family is what Syracuse is about. I'll have no problem traveling. I don't think I'll ever want to live anywhere right now I like this being my base. I have 4 seasons. My daughter goes to school here. Syracuse is home. I don't mind going away, but there's nothing like, and I tell this to everybody complains about Syracuse. There's nothing like it, especially in what I do. We have so much support from restaurants. We have casinos. We have a lot of work for musicians around here, and I thought COVID would kill that. It's more. There's more work for us now. So Syracuse will always be home. I might go away from home for a while, but Syracuse will always be home. Best way to get a hold of me is through my social media at Bill Ali Music. Bill Ali, A-L-I Music. And that's on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. And you can also go to scars, the letter N, stripes.com. That'll take you to all of that business, and that'll link you into my stuff too.